we've become tourists of our own lives. We all live by schedules and routines of places to be and things to do. We want control and we want predictability. And when you're living a life that depends on predictability, it will be entirely shattered when you inevitably face an unpredictable event. Your schedule, your routines, your plans, all gone without a moment's notice. Welcome to the Conversation Pit. I was watching a debate online where one person said, be an options trader, not a tourist. And that doesn't make a lot of sense, which is why it captured my attention. But to break it down, being an options trader and being a tourist are on the extreme opposite ends of variability. A typical tourist has a plan, has an itinerary. They have places they want to go or need to go, rather, at a specific time with specific people and using a specific mode of transportation. Their limited time in the destination is structured, it's prepared for in advance. And even the most spontaneous parts of their itinerary might already be accounted for, and it might already be bounded by time and location. Tourists are highly sensitive to variability. If one thing goes wrong in their plans, they might not be able to get to the next reservation or the next appointment or the next destination. In a way, the tourist is always thinking ahead. Their mind is in the future. And this is true while planning and while executing. But to bypass the unpredictable nature of the future, the tourist creates plans and backups and a rigid structure to optimize for one specific outcome. And on the other spectrum of variability, you have options traders. The entire career of an options trader depends on game time decisions. The unpredictable nature of their job is something that they have to leverage. The lows are very low and the highs are very high. But a successful options trader optimizes for the upside by simply, well, it's not simple, by simply minimizing losses and keeping their options open. New information arrives to them every single second, and it cannot be accurately predicted. So trying to plan ahead is not a winning strategy for an options trader. They depend on variability. So during this debate, Nassim Taleb makes the case of being the options trader over being a tourist because the benefits of being more accustomed to variability benefits people a lot more than they think. And if you really think about it, every organism needs variability to survive. It's an absolute must. And there are so many examples. One is needing a variance in temperature. Your body being exposed to a cold environment will activate your immune system. It makes your body have to warm itself up, which is why cold plunges and ice baths are so popular. Your body being exposed to a hot environment is also similarly effective because you'll start to sweat as you cool yourself down, your blood pressure will increase, your heart rate will rise. These are very important functions that your body needs to utilize to be in good health. And even in moments of poor health, your body bounces back. If you catch a cold or a virus, Your body will increase its temperature and fight off the virus, and then later make you stronger to fight off similar viruses. These exposures to different temperatures become almost necessary, and those stressors on your body are necessary for your health. Your body was built and evolved not only to survive variability, but also to benefit from variability. The problem is that it sounds simple, but it's really not obvious because that's really not how we live our lives. We have thermostats in all our homes. We have a very fine precision of the Fahrenheit degree that we prefer our bedrooms to be at. And it's a seriously special number for a lot of people. And, sometimes I wonder how we became so fragile and so sensitive, particularly to temperature. We've confined most of our livelihood to being sheltered between four walls and a ceiling. So it's no wonder that when you take a human out of their home and to a park, they're annoyed by the slight breeze, by the temperature drop when the sun sets, or the way the rain makes the air feel a bit more humid. I just don't think humans as a species would have survived the things we survived if we were truly that sensitive to temperature. The fact that humans as a species have survived this long through ice ages and deserts and a whole larger extreme range of temperature tells me that we truly should not be that sensitive to it. But ultimately, now for modern humans, that variance in temperature causes a lot of discomfort. And people avoid discomfort despite the upsides it can bring. But beyond just temperature, there are so many ways that we can benefit from variability. Physical variability is one of them, which includes exercise and weightlifting. So when you expose your muscles to various levels of resistance and stress, it makes them stronger. It makes you, your body, and the entire function better and healthier. If you remain sedentary, that would obviously have a lot of negative consequences. But also, if you expose yourself to the same predetermined amount of resistance every single day, you limit your benefits from the exercise. Your muscles only benefit when you have a variance in resistance. And I'm using body-related examples because they are the easiest to relate to. But another one could be caloric variability. If you exert more energy during the day, your body will need a higher calorie count than your normal intake. So imagine eating the exact number of predetermined calories every day. You might suffer a lot because of it. Less exertion requires less calories. More exertion requires more calories. The same number of calorie count will cause more damage to you. The same number of calorie count might put your body at risk because you're not giving it the calories it requires to recover for that day. Another one is financial variability. That brings benefits too. If you go from living paycheck to paycheck all the way to having disposable income or vice versa, that variability in the way that you deal with your financial stress builds resilience. It benefits the system of you and the way you deal with your finances as a whole. And on top of that, it creates creative environments to convert labor into money. And maybe even provides motivation to continue that upward trajectory of improving your quality of life with the expectation that your time will continue to be worth more. Emotional variability is also good. If you experience the same emotion all the time, You wouldn't have feelings of creativity and inspiration that come from the low moments of pain and boredom. And maybe you wouldn't feel the euphoria and excitement that comes from something so deeply fulfilling. And that's also related to mental stressors, which are beneficial because they challenge you, they keep your brain active and entertained. And on top of that, they build resilience. Overall, any system that improves from being exposed to variability becomes resilient, becomes robust. And that is a very good thing. Now, all of these examples very obviously point in the direction of variability, and they're relatable examples. But despite it sounding obvious that people can benefit from variability, the human condition seems to prefer stability. And through generations of technological improvements, we've all created these lives of convenience, lives of predictability. We've become tourists of our own lives. We all live by schedules and routines of places to be and things to do. We want control and we want predictability. The problem with this approach is that it depends on life being predictable. And that is fundamentally not true. When you live a life that's dependent on something that is not true, it falls apart entirely when that unpredictable event happens. It could be a death, it could be a birth, a layoff, an illness, or maybe something on a mass scale like a recession or a pandemic. There will almost consistently be an event that you cannot predict or that you cannot avoid. And when you're living a life that depends on predictability, it will be entirely shattered when you inevitably face an unpredictable event. Your schedule, your routines, your plans, all gone without a moment's notice. A life as a tourist is unsustainable, but a life as an options trader isn't. An option trader benefits from the unpredictability. A life as an options trader accounts for the inevitable, unpredictable events and then uses them as an opportunity to change course, make game time decisions, and reprioritize. Unpredictability benefits the trader. The options trader does not over-engineer their life and make plans based on things that are dependent on a chain of events outside their control. They really are opposite. A tourist mind is in the future while they play this game of catch up from behind when things inevitably fall out of place. But an options trader moves with the present moment and swiftly changes course and adapts to new conditions while focusing only on minimizing losses and maximizing the upside.